Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all of our lovely, lovely viewers in chat. Excited and waiting patiently for the best Hearthstone coming to you this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I am Warshack, joined by the best Demon Hunter player Hearthstone has, DracoCatt, followed up by Casino Extraordinaire, Geist Roller of Oblivions, and Hyper of Crazy Time, DmoneyGames. What's going on, guys? How's your weekend? Hopefully everybody's doing well.
Yo, I'm doing good, man. I'm having a good weekend. We're chilling, super hard. I got Yeezys, which was really unexpected.
Whoa.
But
Getting
now
that
I'm wearing
streamer
like,
money. All right.
I guess so, man. I had a friend who was like, "Yo, guys, I ordered these limited edition Yeezys, and I accidentally got two because I wanted my chances to be higher to get them. Do you want to try them on?" And I was like, "Okay." And they fit perfectly. And it's so weird when someone else gives you a pair of shoes to try on and they're just like the perfect fit. So I was like, all right, man.
Sounds like a Cinderella story to me, bro.
Pretty much.
That's hype. Yeah, I don't really ball out on shoes too much. It's got to be a really special occasion, but yeah, that when you get a good pair of shoes, man, it is beautiful for sure. You feel like $1 million, you really do. Yeah, the chef's kiss.
I got one good pair of shoes for, I think it was Christmas and my birthday, as a gift, and I don't even wear them because they're too nice and too expensive, and I just feel like bad when I wear them. Like, man, I'm gonna get them scuffed or like dirty, so like they never even get worn. They've been sitting in my closet for like 4 years now, and I've worn them once.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I'm like, these are indoor sneakers. They are never going to be used for their intended purpose.
Yeah, that's the problem with spending a lot on shoes. It's just like you never want to wear them, and because you don't want to get them dirty. But some shoes like that's why I don't mind. Like, I'll go to like the Nike factory and I'll go to the clearance section, spend $40 on a nice pair of shoes, and I could make them dirty all I want, and then the dirt just like adds character to the shoe, So like I got white Vans from like a million years ago, and they got some nice dirt on there, but like that just makes it look
black Vans.
Yeah, hey, I got the limited edition brown Vans, and they still rock, man. They still rock.
Yeah.
But yeah,
my friend who gave me the shoes made a Demon Hunter reference when he sold them to me. He was like, "You're always talking about Kanye on stream, so I figured you would be okay to wear his shoes." I was like, that's an interesting perspective. I never considered that.
New channel point reward, put on the Kanyes.
Put on the Kanyes. Put on Kane's shoes. That's a great idea.
Dan, why is DracoCatt the only one with a name?
Oh, that's true. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Well done.
I thought I was removing the old cameras, but I removed your names or our names instead for some reason. Okay.
So chat, if you didn't know, that's D-Money and I'm Warshack. Hi.
Hey guys. Hey. But yes, welcome to the Metabreakers Podcast, guys. We got some stuff to talk about today. And the first up thing here is the meta breakdown. Is this top 1K too, Draco?
No, it's just the meta breakdown. I just named it the wrong shit.
Oh, okay, that's what, yeah. Yeah, so the meta that you see right here, guys, that is across all ranks. So you might be saying, why is Hunter so far up there? Don't worry. We're going to, it still might be up there when we go to the next one, but we're going to talk about the overall meta here. Then we're going to go to the top 1K decks that are performing, the top decks of top 1K, and then some other topics as well. But yeah, looking at this right here.
Dude, Paladin, get that shit out of there. It's been like the #1 deck or class overall for like what, months now? It literally hasn't moved.
It's so unbalanced where it's at now too. Like if you see how much of a larger percentile it has over the second most, what is it, like 3% higher?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've talked last week. We talked about we showed the statistics for Allura and uh whatever the other card was that we were talking about.
Norse Dormu.
Those Dormu, yes.
4 mana, 8/8, yeah.
And they were extremely high, and everybody's been having a lot of problems with it, and including myself. And apparently, there was Blizzard has said that they were looking into it. They had their eye on Allura. You know, they didn't think it was so interactive, and yeah, that's probably smart. But I don't know. They must be saving up for big changes, right? That's my hope, man. Because like the game is, I don't know, man. I've really been hating the meta right now. That's why I've been playing slots. I just tweeted out before, like that feel when you care about the slots meta more than the Hearthstone meta. It's rough, man.
At least
I
you've been
played against
killing
a
it.
dude in THL yesterday, and THL, if you guys don't know what it is, it's something that we like. It's like a competitive series league, and I was playing against a guy who brought that Paladin deck. I didn't bring it. I don't want to. The end. And my opponent, he did want to, and he started it off with that deck. So when in the first game, it was like, oh great, I have the nuts and I'm going first, so I should win. And then I played the game, and then he played Allura coin, and then I lost. And in this format, you have to pick another deck to beat their deck that's on the same, because this was hero format. So I picked another deck.
Oh no!
And I played against the guy, and he was on coin again.
Oh no!
And I had the nuts, and he got Allura coin, and then I lost again. And I never usually get tilted when I play Hearthstone, but yesterday I got mad. I was like, really? Twice in a row? This is going to happen to me? It was just unavoidable and horrible.
See, that guy should play slots. All right.
Yes. Yes, you should. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's so many things in the game right now that it makes you feel like you can't play a lot of different decks. I think Warshack was talking about a little before the podcast how it's really tough to make the meme decks work. Like even if it's not even like a big meme, you know, like you're just like trying to have some fun, you know, be creative with your decks, but like you have to run specific cards or specific classes to beat these things that are just blatantly overpowered, in my opinion.
Yeah. To dive into that a little bit more, even though that we do see Warlock here near the bottom, slightly above Priest at that 47.5% win rate. I know D-Money loves control decks, and I myself also love control decks. So looking at stuff off meta, like for example, old style Control Warrior, old style like Control Shaman with like Fist of Raw Den, maybe some like big druids. And when you play these types of deck and you queue into, let's say, a Ticketus Warlock, which seems to happen about 25% of the game, 25% of the time, like one out of every 4 or 5 games. It just feels like you kind of just lose because there's nothing in your deck that can beat it, and their deck will just mill you. And there's nothing that you can put in your deck. There's nothing you can tech in to beat it, and it just feels like really underwhelming when you know like 20% of your games you're just gonna lose because you're playing this control deck. Granted, there are other control decks like Priest that run like Mind Render and things that like you can maybe play around it a little bit more. But I don't, you know what I mean? You want to explore, you want to play different stuff, and there's certain decks that you literally just can't even play right now. Because of the power level of certain decks, looking at like Paladin being able to, like D-Money mentioned, the Allura on turn 4 with the Tip the Scales or Tychus or whatever it may be. It just feels like the sort of fun meme decks are just slowly getting pushed out. And we're really only seeing these front runner decks, these tier 1, tier 2 decks that can even like hold their own right now. And this is probably because of the fact that we're getting near the next expansion. We're getting near the next rotation. So the power level of cards and the power level of decks right now will be either at their highest point, and then when the rotation occurs, the 3 sets leave. The power level should go back down because there's less cards to pick from. The new expansion comes out. People are still exploring. The meta gets refreshed. But yeah, right now it's just really, really rough as a kind of an off meta player trying to play some really bad decks and just win sometimes. It's tough out there in the streets.
Yeah, it is tough out there in the streets. The funny thing, before we even started the podcast, Warshack and I were talking about how like rock, paper, scissors the game is in regards to that Ticketus deck, because I was saying like, it's a good thing that like there's people like me playing the game, because whenever those ticketed decks queue into any demon hunter, it just feels like I am going to murder you and they are going to die. Pretty much no matter what the situation pans out, there's like such a high likelihood that I win the game that it barely even feels like a game at all. So it's funny to think like, okay, this ticketed deck makes playing control decks feel so punishing and horrible. But at the same time, they're also playing a game where if they queue into someone who's playing Demon Hunter nonstop over and over and over again, they are just going to die. So it's funny when you think about Hearthstone. Ways like that. Where this deck
I get so excited.
Great for me.
Yeah, I mean, Warshack said it's hard for somebody that plays meme decks. I mean, I like to play like kind of memey decks too. Like I like to play maybe like tier 3, tier 2 decks. I mean, tier 2 decks right now are fine. There's actually like so many decks that are playable that are like actually just good, which you would think is good for the game, but when they're not fun to play against, it's not too good for the game. But yeah, I pride myself on like being at the top with like tier 3, tier 4 decks, and it's just like so hard to really like you can do it, but like it's going to drain you mentally. Like it's just like very frustrating. Like sometimes you just flat out lose to a lot of things, and it's not your fault at all. Just because you queued into an aggro rogue and they drew 2 secret passages. Like it's just there's so many things that are just so triggering in the game right now. It's just rough as like any Hearthstone streamer, in my opinion, right now. Honestly, like to enjoy this game. But maybe there's people that enjoy it right now. I don't know. But let's get into the top decks here. Let's see. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that's actually fun here. Oh my God, Hunter's up there.
That's interesting because last week Hunter did represent the second most played class percentage in our first review, and then when we moved to the top 1K, Hunter was not there at all, and now we have 2 hunters. We have a Highlander Hunter and a Face Hunter.
I've resubmitted the correct one. So if you look at Discord,
you bait us every week. Are you
telling me you gave us fake info?
I gave you fake news.
Fake news.
Oh my God. All right. What do we see here? All right. Hunter is not represented whatsoever.
Good bait.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Before we get into how Hunter actually works, let's be real. It doesn't.
Dude, World Kick Rogue up there again. So I had actually played 3 games of World Kick Rogue prior to my last stream, like right before I got off. I was like, you know what? There's this new build because they run like the nitro poison in the deck, but there's not like any weapons. It's just used for like combo. Well, I haven't actually even played with Nitro Boost. Like I've literally not played Rogue since it became so good with Nitro Boost, and I just like I want to see how it is, right? I still want to play like a deck that can win sometimes. Let's just check it out. Like how good is this deck? I played 3 games with this World Kick Rogue, bro. I kicked my opponent straight in the jaw 3 games in a row. The game was over by like turn 6 or 7, and it was just like disgusting what this deck can do. Like you don't even care. It doesn't even matter. You run out of resources, you just randomly make some more. Yep. You need damage, you randomly make some more. You want some cards, you go get some cards. It's like who cares? Just go get it. It's crazy. The power of a tier 1 deck, gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah, and that's one of those decks, again, that is just not fun to play against. It's fun to play as because you're just like, oh, I'm generating everything. And then, your opponent is just sitting there. Like, if you play against a rogue, you know that their hand, like, 80% of the time, if it's World Kick Rogue, it's going to be, like, 100% created by cards. They not even their own cards in their hand anymore. Unless they Potion of Illusion, and then it's still pretty much created by...
and if they're out of cards, one of those cards that they have left is a secret passage. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, such a powerful deck. Still has Questing Adventurer in there, so you could always win with that card. There's so many ways to win. Can't wait for Questing Adventurer to actually go away. But we'll talk about that a little later. World Kick's really good. I'm not surprised about any of these decks up here. I guess a little surprised that Ramp Paladin is not at the top, but... these all these decks here, they're just so good. But there's also just like a lot of things to choose from. As we scroll down to tier 2, I mean, they still have a pretty solid win rate compared to the ones at the top. So still all solid choices here, but Not too exciting to play against or play as, in my opinion.
Did we talk
A
about
lot
how
of warrior
Token
decks.
Druid got really popular at one point? Because I think that happened in between podcasts.
What, Token Druid, you said?
Yeah, that got really popular at one point. I think it's kind of fizzled down at this point, but
Yeah, there's a couple variations of Token Druid. There's one that's like pure spell pretty much, and then there's one that's Gibberling. I don't know if this one is Gibberling. I don't know what Gibberling looks like on
yes.
a picture. It is? Oh yeah, there he is.
Yes, it's the third one over. Yeah. So I don't know if it, like this is just against me or what you guys notice, but every time I play against like a the Gibberling Druid deck, their turn ones are nuts. Like we're talking like 4 to 6 minions on turn 1. and then after that they run out of steam for a couple turns, so if you can clear it, you end up being like in a pretty good position. But like the deck feels like crazy when they get the good cards. Like it's
and
nuts.
that is
like,
why
talking,
you
like,
can
turn
never play Hunter ever again. Because they just can't deal with that. There's just certain decks that just can't deal with this stuff here. So yeah, like a deck like Token Druid, like if they vomit on the board on turn 1, like most of the time with a lot of decks, it's gonna be really hard to come back from that. And yeah, I played it against a lot of Token Druid. It's really tough, bro. If they get the good start, but also Token Druid is one of those decks that if your hand is dead, then you have no chance. So it's kind of a high roll deck, but it does high roll a lot.
Does it run? What's its draw? Like, because whenever I play against the Gibberling one, like after they play their Gibberlings, they have like one more board and then that's it. Does it run Reader or like
No, it runs
Overflow or anything like that?
The 3-mana
Rising
card
Wind.
that draws 3 spells.
Oh, Fungal Dungles.
Yeah.
The
and
3
Rising
mana,
Wind,
okay.
right? Don't they run
Rising
that?
Winds sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
And that's usually enough. But if they don't draw it and they draw like 2 Savage Roars and nothing else really, like then it's a stomp. But that's kind of rare. That's pretty rare.
Yeah. Wins games on turns 1. That's cool.
Yeah, we love that. We love to see it.
Yeah.
So, also 4 warrior decks: Bomb, Silas, EDC, and Enrage. That's a lot. That's a good spread for warrior. So if you're a warrior player out there, you obviously like to see that. And then Highlander Priest, that's DMoney holding it up all by himself with a 51.77%.
If I played this game anymore, yeah. I literally only played 5 games yesterday on my stream, which is like an all-time low. I usually go like
you've ever done
20
in a
games.
day.
That might be like the least
Is it really
amount.
been that bad?
Yeah, I played against I think 4 World Kick Rogues. Okay, so I think I played 6 games maybe. I played like 4 World Kick Rogues, 1 Mozaki Mage, and 1 OTK Demon Hunter, and then I was like, nope, I'm done. I can't do it. I'm sure I would have gotten a different matchup eventually if I kept queuing, and it would have gotten better, but it was like, how am I supposed to press the play button after this? How do people do it, man? Like, if I wasn't a streamer right now, like, I would be off of this game. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm a Twitch partner. I could switch games. And I don't lose out on my thing here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to save myself the trauma of today. I'm going to save myself. It was going to be rough. And you know what? I'm gonna take a personal day here and swap off a Hearthstone. All right, chat. But Highlander Priest is still fun. I do love it, and it does counter the things that I hate the most, which is Token Druid. It is Warrior. Still Paladin a bit. Ram Paladin can be tough. It does do pretty well against Rogue as well, and the OTK decks. So like that's why I play it. Like I know Priest gets a lot of hate, but I play it for a reason. It's because it counters the things that I don't like, and it does fit my playstyle. And it's Highlander, which is my playstyle. Yeah, I guess. But glad to see it up there. I think it's a really strong deck. It's been performing really well in tournaments and just overall in ladder. So I think it's got great matchups. Yeah.
So Highlander Priest would be your pick. If a viewer asked you what deck should I play to position myself well against the meta right now, like that's always a question I get is, hey, what's the best deck to play right now? And I don't even know how to answer that because I like Draco had mentioned, it feels like rock paper scissors. If you say, hey, you want to play this control deck, you lose against Tychus. Play this OTK deck, you lose against aggro or the mill deck. Still, you play an aggro deck and you get owned by Control Warrior. So like, what should you even pick if you want to climb right now? Is it just like World Kick Rogue and then just? I feel like that's probably favored against everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you feel bad?
Have you guys
what
actually
is
played
a
in
bad
Rage
matchup
Warrior?
for that deck?
Because Enrage Warrior feels just like World Kick.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Really?
that. Like World Kick and Enrage Warrior probably have the best matchups because like Enrage Warrior could do literally everything. Like you could gain a lot of armor, you could draw a lot of cards, you could do a huge combo. And World
I
Kick
practiced Enrage Warrior for a few hours yesterday.
Yeah.
And was baffled at how it felt. It's so adaptable, just like Rogue, and you don't think it is, because Warrior doesn't usually boast flexibility. But that deck in Rage Warrior, you run like the what is it called? The poison. What is it called? Nitro Boost Poison. Yes, it runs Nitro Boost Poison now, and like double cutting class and like the Reaper. And basically, not only do you have the ability to like answer boards and develop 110s on 3, and then just put like a ton of attack and divine shields into single minions, you also have like gigantic weapon swings the entire time. So, and you can do the Armor Smith combo.
And you can draw a lot of cards every turn.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's so
it's
nuts.
disgusting.
I had no idea. I honestly have never tried any form of Enrage Warrior. I've never played the Korkron, copy Korkron, buff him up. I've seen it done against me and it hurts, but I've never actually played the Enrage Warrior because it's always like a good popular version. So I never get to try it. But I didn't realize like how really versatile it was. I just thought it was kind of just like a Smorky aggro deck. But yeah, now if it runs like, does it run Ankar for the risky skippers?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
And you run Corsair Cash to tutor the risky, to tutor the Ankar or the Reaper. And then you have all the cutting class, the pirates that give you the 3/2s. You just have a ton of weapon redundancy. And and then at the same time,
does it play?
right? Honestly, what feels the most disgusting about the deck, to be real, if I had to say what it is it's the 110, the freaking 110. Like it's like you're playing against OTK Demon Hunter. All right, this is scary. But then you're like, oh, wait, why don't I just play a 110 on 3? And then I'll give it then I'll enrage it and then give it the shield. And then I'll duplicate it on turn 4. And then they have, 2 6/9 divine shields next to a 2/2 to react to with like their 4 mana. That sounds like a good game plan.
Yeah, there's literally sorry.
Go ahead.
There's literally like no weak card in the whole entire deck. Like there's always going to be something really good. And you're saying what new cards does it run? I think it just runs Nitro Boost Poison. I feel like that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, but Nitro Boost Poison and double cutting class,
it's enough
with a whole bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
It's enough. It's just it allows you to cycle through it, and you still run Battle Rage.
If you can't get a 5 draw Battle Rage off, don't worry. You could draw it twice with cutting class. And then draw another cutting class, and then draw another 2 cards, and then it's the deck literally like you were saying it's versatile, like wow, like it is. It's too versatile. It's too good at everything. It really is. Like at least World Kick Rogue cannot heal up to full. Like I don't know.
I mean,
Rage Warrior feels really damn good.
They could find a way, sure.
It does have intricacies too. It's not like Ramp Paladin. You know what I mean? Like you can be really good at Enrage Warrior. If you practice a lot of Enrage Warrior, you're going to be disgusting, and that's awesome. But like, yes, it's
at least it like takes some thinking to play like on some turns. Like I know like when you get Battle Rage for 5 cards, like it is very annoying. But like your opponent did have to count a little bit, beforehand. They had to make sure they had hand space. Make sure that their guys didn't die.
Tip the skills.
They didn't just play Allura and then coin and then just emote you, or just or just play a bunch of stealth minions and play Secret Passage. They actually had to think a little bit. So I give Enrage Warrior a bit of credit there. Enrage Warrior players. There you go, Gabby. All right.
Yeah. You guys think there's art to BM? Side podcast tangent.
What do you mean?
Do you think like with emoting and playing the game that tilting your opponent intentionally is a good thing, bad thing, or do you think it plays a role at all?
Well, might I direct you to my auto squelch video on YouTube? Exclamation point new. But yeah, I think emoting is great for the game. Sure, it's very tilting at times, but then you just squelch your opponent. But yeah, emotes could definitely, if you do it properly, you can bait your opponent into doing stuff, or you could tilt your opponent, which could
the game.
in turn make them play worse, or it could make them play better. You never know. But yeah, I'm a fan of emoting for a reason, yes, but not in a. You could be like, there's a certain point of toxicity that I don't want to reach. Like at the end of after the game is over, and then you emote after like something stupid happened. That's a completely different thing. But you're talking about like emoting during the game, like trying to throw your opponent off, and I'm a fan of that. Yeah, even if it is a little toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. We dove into the psychology aspect of it a little bit on stream this week, primarily because we were playing a wild player who snipes pretty frequently. So we could justify being a little toxic back. And when we were talking about the concept of like when to emote to, fuck up their thought process. And it was all around the concept of using a mana burn, where you like wait for the rope to go all the way to the end, and then you smash the mana burn so they have the most minimal amount of time to think about how they're going to do their turn with less mana. And then you wait 50. Yeah, right. And then it was like, if you emote immediately, they're just going to get like slightly aggravated and then think about their turn. But we were like, no, you wait 20 seconds for them to be mid thought process on what the most important thing is to do for their turn. And then you give them a "you are not prepared." And then make them think, because that'll be even more disorienting, where it's like now they're actually thinking about how they're going to do the turn, and then you emote them. So it's like, oh my God, I can't deal with this guy's assholery. That I feel like that is like an interesting concept to think about, where it's like how to BM in the most efficient way to make your opponent play worse.
I kind of have not do the same thing, but like if there's like a weird play that I'll make to line up for like a nice AoE turn or like a nice following turn, but it's kind of like easy to read for like D-Money or you to see, I'll like say oops after it. So I'll point towards their face and then pretend like I'm on my phone and then swing towards the minion and then be like oops, and then they'll totally play into it, and then I'll use my removal. Sometimes I'll do that depending on how I gauge their skill. But yeah, I use the oops a lot whenever I do something weird, and like they would be like, well, why would he do that? And then you throw the oops, like, oh, it was just a mistake. And then you're like, ha ha, Yugi boy, you fall into my trap.
Yeah, there's a lot of small nuance kind of things that you could do to play with your opponent's mind, and that's one of the things I like about Hearthstone. Like you can't do too much, but you could still do enough and like I have this thing that I do all the time, where if my opponent is like selecting their target to attack and they're like going between like two things, or they have like two options, I will hover over the one that I don't want them to hit, and then for like a few seconds to make it seem like I want them to hit it, and then they'll usually fall for my trap and hit the worst one. And like I'm like, you're so stupid, but honestly, like I'm baiting them. But like they fall for the bait so many times. There's like so many ways to bait your opponent. Like even if it's just like hovering over stuff, even if you think that they can't see you hovering over it, they see you. All right, so don't think that your hovers are not important. Like that actually gets me a lot of advantages. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Like I think one of the things I always do to people when I'm playing Demon Hunter that's like kind of similar to what you're saying is whenever it's my opponent's turn 5 and it's like going into my turn 6, I always just keep pulling on the left outcast card in my hand to make them think I'm gonna skull.
Oh yeah.
Just so they'll think like, oh, he's waiting. I can go in right now. He's definitely not gonna nuke my board or blade dance me or develop like a whole bunch. He's just gonna skull right now. So I'm always just like tugging on the card on turn 5 just to make them like, play an overly aggressive play or overcommit. It's great.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, good tips here.
I don't know if we should be giving out all these things. Now you guys know all of our tells, man. If you're playing against DracoCatt on ladder and he's hovering over that card, but now Draco can reverse the reverse psychology, because now that you heard it here, now he might do it with the skull. in there in that leftmost position. Yeah, you never
Well,
know.
it doesn't hurt to do if you actually can skull as well. You know,
Yeah.
that's either way. The one thing I was gonna say as well that like works pretty interesting for like weird tells with BM is if you're playing rogue and like a game that matters, since you always have like 0 mana cards, like if you just keep pulling them out every turn, your opponent's gonna think you can pop off whenever you want the entire time. Whether or not that's a coin or a backstab, I mean, you can usually tell what coin is.
Yeah.
So like if it's a backstab or like a prep, if you just keep pulling out the card and dropping it, they're gonna think you have the ability to pop off with a whole bunch of 0 mana cards the entire time, and they're gonna play a little bit more reserved usually, unless they know you're baiting them. You know,
Don't
'Cause they're gonna
overlook
think-
the mind games.
Yeah,
Don't
the mind
overlook
games can make a difference if people are trying to make educated decisions on what you can do.
Yes.
Burn decks, you can do a lot in theirs because you can like point at their
Yep.
face and then like make them overly defensive, and it's like, you know, a 1 damage like what is it, like frost shock from like a shaman. It's like you're playing control shaman, but you just keep putting frost shock over their face. They're like, he's got bird. It's like, oh, I got 1 damage, buddy, and they like make the super defensive play and like heal or something like that. So yeah, definitely don't underestimate power of hovering over cards, like Draco said.
Exactly. You might be looking at your screen right now and saying, "Oh my God, is this a new card back coming to Hearthstone?" Wait, did this one actually win? By the way,
This one.
Oh, okay. Well, it is.
It's awesome
I was
looking
gonna say-
too.
I was gonna say no, it's not.
I love
but yeah. So there was a contest, I believe in China, for people to design a new card back for Hearthstone, and this was the winner of the card back competition. Very cool, and like it like blinks, I believe, or like winks at you. The like
It has the
feathered-
dragon eye. If
Yeah.
you guys can't see what it is, it's like a Chinese dragon eye. It's amazing.
Yeah, really
I
cool
love the card
design. There were a lot of cool designs though. I'm gonna scroll down here and we're just gonna look at some of them here.
Yeah, these are good. Imagine
These are the
like
runner-ups.
these are
imagine
the-
getting beat out by some random guy making card back images, and you're a multi-billion-dollar company.
There's a lot of talented people everywhere, so I don't know. Maybe they just found some more people to add to the team. You never know.
No, yeah,
wow.
yeah. These are great, dude. The Anoyotron one,
Yeah,
that's actually so tilting to look at.
that would be a cool card back to get with that skin, like or with that
Mhm.
portrait. You know,
Honestly, that card back is like really taunting. It's super annoying.
It
Like,
is.
it looks like it's sticking its tongue out at you. It's trolling your
It
opponent.
is.
that's true.
Like imagine them discovering a card with 3 of those in your face. Like, it's great. Well done.
Yeah, there's one down here that I was really loving. I mean, they're also really cool here.
The very bottom one's unique too. Like the very, very bottom.
This one, Lost Temple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of unique. It's like a little pathway in the middle's a well.
That
That's
reminds
interesting.
me of some game, maybe like Pokemon-esque kind of graphics on
It
that.
does look very Pokemon-esque.
Yeah,
I understand that.
very
comparison.
cool.
Very good.
Yeah, so that was a cool thing that that Blizzard did there, and yeah, we might. I don't know when this is. Do you know when this card back is coming to the game? Did they announce that?
I don't think anyone announced that, but I'm sure it will happen, you know, probably this year.
Yeah, well, very exciting, very cool stuff. Maybe we'll even see like something happen with like runner-ups or some of those other card backs as well. I don't know what they have planned, but just cool to see talented people show off their designs and everything, and I mean, new stuff to the game. I mean, like the graphics in Hearthstone, everybody knows I talk about it all the time. Like the card art in Hearthstone just keeps getting better and better, and even the new portrait that was the new card back for this month, the like gold and purple one. I think that one is like one of the best card backs they've released so far. I
It
love
is
it.
very cool.
But
Did the winner actually get any like money or compensation, or is it just like your card back goes into our game?
I
Thanks for the
don't
free
know.
work.
I would
I'm
hope
pretty
they
sure
got
the-
money.
I'm pretty sure
I
the
would hope
prize
they
was they get their card in Hearthstone.
Oof.
Well, we're just gonna hope that that somebody got paid here, besides Blizzard. But yeah, that was a cool little thing. And then we have something else to talk about here. So Ixar, if you guys don't know who Ixar is, he is the I don't even know who he is really. He's the is he the community manager? Something? No, he's the he's after Draco finishes that bite, he's gonna
I enjoy listening to you flounder, just like you didn't know what the name of Azeroth was last week.
Thank you. Didn't I say Azeroth?
No, you fucked up
Dude.
everything. Every word you said
Click
for
his
like
Twitter.
a straight.
Just click his name.
But then
Click
I have
his
to
name,
go
Devon.
back. All right.
You
He's
can
a cool
see his name right
Hearthstone
there.
dad.
Click it.
All right.
Oh no, that doesn't actually answer it.
Oh my
He's
god.
a senior. He's a senior game designer, so he's like in charge of what happens of like the teams of people
There
that
you
do stuff
go.
for Hearthstone.
Exactly.
So he's actually a decision maker for the game.
Yeah, so he did an AMA, which is like Ask Me Anything. And he's done quite a few of these, and everybody likes that he's being so open. Somehow I always miss out on it. I always go to Twitter, and then it says he did it like 10 hours ago, and I'm like, bro, come on. I've never gotten to ask a question yet, but eventually I will. I don't even know what I would ask, but I'd have to think about it. But anyway, I thought this question was pretty nice. He said this was Impact on Fire, who's kind of big in the Hearthstone scene, I guess. He said, "Can you leak anything about the upcoming basic/classic redo?" He's talking about the classic set the classic and basic set that they're going to revamp soon. And Ixar did answer, and he said there will be some new cards, some old cards, some rebalanced cards. We decided not to bring back Barnes though. So that's really exciting to hear that there's going to be some new cards. Well, we already thought there was going to be some new cards, but also some old cards coming back. So that is really like, that could be anything at this point. Like a lot of people
Lothab.
I doubt it's going to be Lothab, but
Dirty Rat.
they could rebalance it. Yeah, Dirty Rat is the one that I've been hearing the most that people want back. Especially I want it back because the combo decks are just so good right now. So that is like a really good reason to bring it back. But yes, so many things that they could possibly bring back, and rebalancing cards is really exciting too. I don't know. This question really excited me a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot of cards that rotated out that people would argue were super important to the design of the game. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is like Whizbang. Like imagine if bringing Whizbang back to standard was part of what they were doing here. That'd probably be like a really nice way to get people back into the game.
Yeah, we have a comment right here. If you bring back Whizbang, I come back to this game after my last rage quit. Also a pay-to-win player here that spent more than $1,000, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's true. Cards like Whizbang and Zale, those are really cool because like that gives free-to-play players a way to have decent decks. I mean, now you're able to get that free deck, so now maybe that's their reasoning for not bringing something like that back. But that was just a really cool concept. I really hated that it took up a legendary slot in these expansions, but yeah, I always thought that was really cool, and it's just a fun thing that you could play around with. Like if you're just like trying to have a nice time, you know, on a Friday night, play some casual Whizbang. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I on my free-to-play account, chat made me craft a golden Whizbang. And it was actually not the worst idea in the world, because when you craft the golden Whizbang, whenever you played with them, every card in the deck would be golden. And you had, you know, each class being 4 different decks. So you had all of these new golden cards that you've never have seen before. And it was actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, though, the deck recipes, some of the cards in them are some of like the most worthless garbage things I've ever seen. It actually makes the deck worse having some of these cards in these deck recipes. And I don't know who's in charge of deck recipes and who makes these decks, and I know they don't need to be tier 1 decks, but if you're gonna have like a meme deck in the recipe, like make sure it's like it makes sense, because there was some of these that literally just having some of these cards made the deck worse. Like if you could just take the card out and put like a Stone Tusk Boar, it would have been better. Like it actually made the deck do worse.
I remember they had like Pogo Rogue with Hench Clan Burglar in it. And it was like, okay, this is a thief card and a Pogo Rogue deck. Interesting. Like
Yeah,
weird shit like that.
Yeah, I had played a bit of. I also crafted Golden Whizbang on my Europe account, and I like disenchanted like everything in my collection to make this Golden Whizbang. And I was like, all right, guys, Whizbang to Legend, let's go. We're gonna do this challenge here. And then I kept getting Quest Warrior, and I was like, it's not gonna happen, guys. We're not gonna make it. I'm sorry.
Wasn't Surrender to Madness Priest one of the brews in it at one point? I think that was one of them. It was like you could get Surrender to Madness
Maybe.
Priest.
There's definitely some bad decks in there, but it was still fun overall. I still think the card's really fun. You know what? I found a new job for Warshack actually. You're gonna be the Whizbang deck designer.
I would 100% be down to help building nice, fun, budget / Mimi Whizbang decks to implement. 100%.
But you don't even have to make them budget. You can make them whatever you want now if a Whizbang.
Well, the whole deck recipes, in my opinion, they should have a point to them. There should be a budget deck recipe for beginner players. There should be a meme deck in there that says like a new take on this class. You know what I mean? Like some really off meta stuff or cool things you could do with the class. And then a competitive recipe for players who like, you know, no longer beginner, but more intermediate to experienced. And I think that'd be a great way to like utilize the deck recipes. But right now you just have like 3 random things of garbage. Like there's not, I mean, granted they've refreshed it a little bit. And I think there's actually a couple classes that do have a couple decks that do make sense, but for the most part, they're not. No, like I don't know anybody who actually follows them, like utilizes them to like what they're supposed to be used for. You know what I mean? It doesn't inspire anything.
Write this down. Write this down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warshack's cam did bug out there for a second. This is our first time trying out OBS Ninja right now, so we
should be higher quality than normal, which is weird. But
I was having issues before the stream. Draco saw me like cussing out my mic and yelling at or my cam before when we were in Discord. It was doing all kinds of wacky stuff. So if there's anything wrong with it, he's like, nice cam Warshack, and it's like me upside down.
At one point, his camera flashed to like a photo of like him chilling in a tank top where he was like super overexposed on a couch, and it was just like Rod being like. I was like, cool, man. I definitely needed to see that today.
I didn't control it, man. It's just doing its own thing.
Oh man. All right, guys. Q&A.
Yes, we're moving to the Q&A section of the podcast.
Whoa. What about my section?
Oh
yeah. He was going to talk about this. Let's talk about
Sorry,
this.
I didn't have a picture for this.
Q&A. We'll just skip over what I had to say. It doesn't fuck me, right? Doesn't matter. Who cares,
I have
man?
a better idea. All right. While we do your topic, everybody in chat, if you want to ask some questions, feel free to drop them. And then after we're done talking about the topic, we will go ahead and answer them. Yeah. So we could get some questions coming in now. You can still wait if you want, and you could intensely listen to this topic. But if you want to write down your question right now, you know, we're going to be into that part. But yeah, go ahead, Rob. Sorry. I didn't have a picture for this.
Thanks. Oh, you want a picture?
All right, yeah. You have a picture?
Dude, it was my segment. Of course I had a picture. You just totally forgot about it. What do you mean?
I never got a list of segments here. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger. Oh, this is a good one.
I like how your Nightbot shoots people for asking how. And we have a Q&A section.
Yeah, I need to fix that a little bit. Yeah. I need to make it less frequent, but it is a funny response by Nightbot.
Subjective.
So I've noticed in the past couple, like, I don't know, I'd say months, it feels like every time I log into like Hearthstone, there's some like new deal, and they range between, let's say, like $10 and like $30. So we had like the Warrior and I think the Mage, what do you call them? Journals, books, story
Book
times.
of Heroes, yeah.
There you go. And then, so that was like $10, and those were back to back. And then just like the other week we had like for, what was it, 25 or $30, you get 20 packs and 2 legendaries. And then now it's the Anduin book, the Priest book. And then now in a couple days, it's going to be these 4 skins for $25. And I don't know, it just feels like every time I log in, there's like some new like gotcha special, like come on down, siphon your wallet into this money pit. Like, it's just crazy. And if they were cheaper, I suppose it wouldn't like feel as bad. But like, if we just add all of this up, like, it's just insane. I mean, we're talking like 10 to 20 bucks a week on just like random stuff that comes out. Plus we have the tavern pass we need to buy. Plus we have the mini set that we're going to need to get now. Plus the expansion. Like,
well, let's be honest.
Crazy.
Do you need to get any of these?
You don't need it, but like,
right.
Some people may feel overwhelmed with the, you know, limited time offer, special deal, come on down. Like, I just feel like it's a lot.
I mean, yes. A lot of people also complained prior saying, we really like skins. Why can't we just have more in the game to have? Like, I don't understand why, if you don't just add more skins, that could ever be a bad thing. And like, people will buy them. Like, why can't we just have more skins to buy? Like, a lot of people are saying that, like, I will actually pay money for cool skins. And they're kind of,
that's fine.
Kind of giving them to
But
us
the
now.
problem is you have to buy all 4 of these skins and it's $25. If you could buy one skin for $5 for your favorite class, that makes sense. But you can't just spend 5. You've got to spend 5 times more than that.
Yeah, that's actually
like,
kind of fair.
Yeah,
I think
like,
the Book
it's
of
not,
Heroes
like I said,
thing
it's
is
not
cool.
it's not the fact that there's things to buy, it's the price of the things that you're buying. It just feels expensive. Like $25 for 4 skins. Granted, if the
cards?
skins no, it's $25 for 4 skins.
That's actually not a bad that's not a bad price compared to what like skins usually cost in this game. A skin in this game could be $5 or it could be $10. Even $15 with Sylvanas, right? Sylvanas? Whatever. I can't even think right
But didn't you get packs with that?
No, you didn't get packs with that.
Yeah. She was a big deal.
Oh,
I remember
shit.
when she came out, we were all like, oh my God, we can get Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, some of them have been a lot more difficult to acquire, like financially. Like Mecha Jiraxis. Like, you could only get Mecha Jiraxis from the $80 mega bundle. Like, things like that are pretty far out of reach, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what
they
you're
honestly
trying to
make
do.
sense.
I mean,
Like,
to me, $25 for these 4 skins, I think that's a great deal, honestly. Comparative to what they've been. The Book of Heroes skins, that's where it gets a little iffy. The fact that it's $10 for the thing is, like, the skin is like decent. The skins are usually decent for it, but the 5 packs that they include are like complete garbage. Like,
they should sell them all individually for a portion of that. Honestly, the fact that they're selling them only as one for 25 is kind of bullshit. They're like, okay, if you want them, you just got to pay for them all. Or no one really wants all of them. Probably. I mean, unless you're a collector.
You could.
Like I would probably purchase this just so I have them, because I stream Hearthstone and that's a part of my life. And having the ability to choose one of these is worth $25 to me.
I mean, this would be good for somebody that doesn't have like any skins, you know?
They get 4?
Yeah, you get 4 skins. We keep saying foreskin, but you get these 4 portraits. And yeah, I do think they're cool. I like that. I disagree with Warshack. I actually really like that they're putting out a lot of portraits like this and everything, because the game did need more cosmetics, and I love that like there's more cosmetics with the pass as well. I think there's going to be more in the future, of course. The thing is, like, I did just spend $10 on the Priest Book of Heroes skin, and now this Priest skin is way better than that one. So kind of sad about that, but I'm still gonna buy it anyway because I'm a
yeah. See, $35.
I'm a whale, bro. All right,
guys. Did any of you play Dynasty Warriors like ever?
No.
I have.
You have?
Yes.
Is this crazy to you that they're like all Dynasty Warrior characters? Like, because I mean, I thought that was nuts. Like, it was like, wait.
I mean, it's from the 3 kingdoms.
Yes, it's like a book, but I guess I realized that all Dynasty Warrior characters were from that book. I don't know. But all I think of when I saw this, I was like, these are characters I can pick when I'm playing Dynasty Warriors. Like Lu Bu, Guan Yu, Zhu Liang. Like they're all characters that you can play in Dynasty Warriors. It's weird.
That's
But
cool.
it is cool. It is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that they're putting out new content personally. Sure, it might be a lot at once, and maybe they should put their focus on other things like fixing the meta. But I really do like what they've done here and what they've been doing. And they've also been, that you did say before the podcast, right? You said like, besides like the portrait bundles, you were also talking about like the regular bundles, right? Like the pack bundles, like you see those like all the time too, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's just all these bundles at all different prices at all points in times. And like, I think it's good to have that, but it just feels like, as a new player, like, I don't know, it just feels very predatory. And also like with this, I don't mind new skins. Don't get me wrong. Like having new skins and having new portraits or heroes is awesome. You want to be able to spice things up and see a new thing, maybe have new emotes or whatever. But just the fact that you can't buy an individual one bothers me. Like you have to spend $25, even if, for example, you only want the rogue one. But they could have just made them $10 each and then made the bundle 25 and then they look like the good guys. Like, holy shit, you can get all of them for 25 or one of them for 10. Why would I buy one? And then it feels better, right?
That's true.
So it's just like framing it.
I agree.
It's just like framing it differently. And it just feels, if when they frame it like this, it's literally, we don't give a shit if you want to buy one. We want your $25 and we don't really care about anything else. But if they do it the other way, it's like, oh, we're good. You get all 4 for 25. That's a fucking steal. And it's like, of course, wallet insert.
Yeah. No, I mean, so people have this thing like what is it called? The fear of missing out, right? That's like a real thing. And it works with like a marketing standpoint to a degree as well, especially when you attach the word exclusivity into something. So by saying these are 4 exclusive skins that are $25, what that is exactly as Warshack sounds is saying, that it makes you as a consumer feel like if you don't spend this $25, then you're missing out. And that sucks. Yep. However, I think it is a good thing overall that they're just releasing more bundles, more things. Cause like I, at one point in my time as a Hearthstone streamer player, have realized I need more card packs because I need to play a deck. And then there's been no bundle for me to buy at that time and realized I couldn't wait. I'd been like, okay, I'm going to have to spend like $60 on 40 packs or something stupid. Where now, at least there's a way that you can get like a whole bunch of dust value almost all the time for a discount. And that's good.
Exactly. Yeah. In a game like this, and in card games in general, you're usually going to have to buy packs to compete with to have the best deck or compete with the best decks. And it is just good because like you never know where everybody's at with their collection and with where they're trying to be. So like Draco said, yeah, there were points with me too where I did need more cards. Or maybe I need more dust or something to make more cards. And I didn't want to spend the regular price on the packs. And
but you didn't have a choice.
Yeah, like you really want there to be a bundle in there, and now there's an abundance of bundles, and that's really great for a lot of people, I think. But yes, to people like us now, like now that I have like everything, like sure, like I'm seeing a bundle in the shop that's like for packs, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't want this. But if there is a bundle for packs, like it is going to give you better value than. Like the bundle is definitely going to be better than just straight up buying the packs 100% of the time. So unless you're doing the tavern pass thing before the buff, whatever, I don't know. But
could have been better if they separated these to buy individually though. Rob's right.
Sure, that could have been better, but it is what it is. I'm just happy that there's content there. I have to disagree with you, Warshack. I'm sorry. I'm Team Draco right now.
I didn't think about it as if like you're a player who just needs more packs and more dusts, and you don't want to pay full value, and you can take advantage of some sort of short time deal. I mean that I guess that does make sense. I don't know. It just felt like the frequency of it and like the price was just it. Every time I logged into Hearthstone, it just felt like there was some new deal that if you're a newer player, it's like, oh, I didn't get this, I'm missing out, and that's not like a good feeling. Like I just want this game to Like when a player logs in and plays, they feel good. They feel rewarded. They get something. They're not missing out. There's not some endless money pit they're throwing in there to feel like they need to keep catching up and get more cards because they need a competitive deck, because if they don't have one, they don't get to play and have fun. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be I log in, I play this fun deck, I win sometimes, I lose sometimes, but if I want to be competitive, yes, you have to play better decks, but that's not, a necessary thing.
I feel like you've got a case of the FOMOs.
All right, we should go into the Q&A now. Okay, guys?
Sure.
First question.
FOMOs.
Why have so many streamers shifted to BGs?
Fear of missing out, by the way. All right.
Why have so many streamers shifted to BGs? I feel like they've been like updating it more consistently, and the mode is kind of like less tilting as like a player. I think it's less stressful as a streamer to a degree, probably, to play BGs when being second or fourth is better than being last in front of an audience, which is what happens in standard. I would say a lot of times, like if you lose, it's just like you lose, the end. Where in BGs, there's kind of like a whole, like, what is the word?
It's
winning.
a battle royale in Hearthstone.
Yeah. All right.
You duke it out.
I think it's really fun to play as well. I don't know. It's new. It gets a lot of updates, and like slight updates to BGs where they introduce like a new character changes the entire feel of the game. And I think people are drawn to it to a degree. Like Battlegrounds is great.
I think auto battlers in general are just really fun. That's my take.
Yeah.
And sure, the one downside to streaming BGs is that you don't get to talk to chat as much because you're really focused on your turn, and then you want to see how your squad does against their squad and like what you're going to improve on and stuff like that. So you're always thinking about stuff. You don't have too much downtime to talk to chat. Like when you're playing standard, like your opponent's roping you, like I'll just read chat. Like, what's up, guys? How's it going? Like this guy's taking forever. Like, hello guys, what's going on? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? All right, like something like that. But yeah, BGs is definitely a lot more action there. And I think it's really fun to play. So I definitely understand. I had a lot of fun when I was streaming it, so I understand why they're going there. Also, the viewership, that's where the most of the viewership is at. So that's the main deal there. Yeah. Will you still play Hearthstone when you become a slot millionaire? Yeah, I'll still play.
I mean, what's the difference?
I think a really interesting thing about the BG and standard players concept is that the viewers are just as what is the word? Stubborn in what they like as the streamers that are playing the games they like. So people that want to watch standard, like if you switch to BGs as like a standard player normally, like everyone will leave. And like, It's the same way for the BG streamers if they want to play standard. Like, now, like if they go to play standard, they'll be like, well, I'll just go watch Slissa. Peace. Like I've seen people do this in streamers chats that play BGs all the time now, where it's like the other side of the story, where if they want to play normal Hearthstone now or standard or classic, all the battleground players are like, well, I'll watch someone who's playing the game I like. Peace. It's just like what happens when we switch to battlegrounds, or if we ever consider doing that.
These hoes ain't loyal.
People like what they like. You can't blame them.
Yeah, I cannot blame them. That's just like when I switch to anything else. Yeah, it's like I understand if you want to leave, if you're here for this. Like I have those. I like, as a viewer myself, like I do watch a lot of streams, and like if the streamer switches to something I don't want to watch, I'm just gonna go to somebody that's streaming what I want to watch. It's part of streaming in general. But some people will watch people just for anything they do, and that's really special.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah, we do. Like even you guys watching this podcast right now, we're not playing the game. We're just talking. Some people don't want to watch this at all. They just want to watch the gameplay. So it's completely the same, just like that. What do you think will be announced during BlizzCon? Next expansion, classic rework, new game mode, all
TBC.
First of all, when is BlizzCon? Because then we can line it up with that.
I hate when people ask questions that are Googleable.
All right.
Sorry, it's
This
an
is
inside
funny
joke.
because we were
Chat.
talking
You're
about
such
this.
an ass, D-Money. You're such an
It's
ass.
funny
We were
because I
talking
was
about
going
asking
to ask
Googleable
it.
questions before we went live, and so D-Money just like went real sideways on me right that.
I was going to ask it, and then I was going to say that same thing about it, but then you did it, so I had to do it. I'm sorry. But when is it?
It looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's not next weekend, but it's the following. So it's 19th.
February.
It's like 19th and 20th, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when we could see a lot of things being announced. I mean, I hope that there's stuff before that, but
We always see big things announced during BlizzCon,
Yeah.
so I think we will definitely
TBC.
see the new expansion because that's the next set of money. But they will probably also announce like the classic rework or the new Hall of Fame replacement system. And then they'll probably give us some kind of like release plan on like this comes out this week, this comes out this week, this comes out that week. I imagine it'll be like that.
Warshack, don't hate me.
What?
What's TBC? Just for all the viewers out there. For all the viewers, I know what it is. I just want you to it's not the Burning Crusade, right? That's just BC. Right? What is for everybody?
It's actually really ironic because like TBC is also something you could Google.
Well, I'm saying for all the viewers out there, you know, I just
To
want
be continued.
Oh, okay. I got
I
you.
didn't even have to look it up.
Sorry, I usually go with the TBD. So
I just used common sense to decipher what that was right there.
damn, Draco, get me back for that Google comment. All right.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I usually see
Backstab.
TBD. I see TBD to be determined. Usually, I don't really see TBC. You know, it's kind of like Burning Crusade. So I was like, it's Warshack.
Yes.
It could be a reference to
The
World of
Burning
Warcraft.
Crusade.
It could be something there. You know what? Hey, whatever. I shot my shot, chat. All that's important.
All right. You guys want to end it there? I feel like we went a little bit over today.
We actually didn't really go over. We started at like 14 minutes in or 15 minutes in. So
Oh,
we're like
cool.
right there. If we want to answer a couple more questions, if you guys want. We've only
Yeah, whatever you guys want. I'm good for a couple more questions if that's. We
Do you
have some
guys-
good ones, some juicy ones.
Do you guys recommend leaving classic packs unopened for the rework?
That's probably a good
Probably
idea.
not. Well, they'll give you the dust back. They'll give you a full refund anyway.
What do you mean?
I don't know if we know how that
So
works
if-
yet.
So
Well, they
if
have
new
to, right?
cards exist in
Maybe.
Classic, then the what's it called? The duplicate protection should work in that fashion. And I think Warshack opening his golden packs when the mini set came out attests to that fact.
Yes.
Right.
But if you open up classic packs and they decide that those cards get changed or they're no longer in the standard format, theoretically, they should reimburse you for that. And the reimbursement should be at full cost, which means you should be able to craft whatever cards that would have been anyway. So you get to play with the cards now and you get the refund later.
Perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. And hopefully
That's what I would-
them changing the cards doesn't require people to repurchase more Classic. I would imagine they should probably make it right.
Yeah, I don't think I think I don't think you'll lose anything by opening up your packs now.
Yeah,
That's just-
I would think that if they're moving the cards out of the classic set, that you would get your dust. You would get like the full value. So that
Well,
is a
let's think about the worst case scenario here, right? What happened when Velen was removed in the Classic set? Did you get reimbursed for Profit Velen? I think you
Yes.
did. Right?
Yeah.
yeah. It's just the fact that they said
And then
that
they
there's
came out
no.
with Morte.
It's just the fact that they said there's not gonna be a Hall of Fame anymore. So it's like still kind of up in the air. But yeah, I would think at the very least you probably won't lose out on too much, right?
Well, that would so if they say there's no Hall of Fame, and okay, so let's understand what Hall of Fame is. Hall of Fame is all of the basic and or some of the classic cards from the sets that got rotated that are never supposed to rotate, right? So if they take all of the cards that were moved away and put them in a pool, and then you say, hey, we're changing these, or these are just leaving the game, they can just eliminate all of those cards and just have a new fresh pool with none of them being taken away. Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
Ice Block may come back, but it may not do what it does, or they may just eliminate it completely. So there'll be no Hall of Fame, but there'll always be these basic cards that are either going to change or stay the same or just leave completely. Because Hall of Fame, you can just like eventually that's something we're gonna have to do something with that, because the cards are gonna need to get changed, and you know, cards are gonna become broken over time, and then they're just gonna have to add more and more cards to Hall of Fame. So eventually they would have had to do this.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's kind of hard to speculate over exactly what's going to take the place of it, but we just have to wait and see.
All right, last question. It's actually just a quick thing, but maybe not. Do you think matchmaking is rigged, and the conspiracy theory that the game is hard coded to screw you? So there's actually a I think there's some YouTube videos on this, and I think it was proven that like it actually is rigged in some form. Like there is a little bit of rigging
100%.
to like make sure you don't win too much or lose too much, maybe as well. There's definitely some aspect in there of rig, and there's definitely I have a lot of conspiracies myself. Like,
they're pretty honest about it to a degree too. And in most ways with the MMR system, it's skill based and it's not like actually deck based. Even though I think the concept of like the algorithms of the game, realizing like, oh, aggro demon hunter's bad against control warrior, give him a control warrior. Like, I don't think that it's like that meticulous what's really happening. But they've admitted to things like if you're in a high MMR range and you lose like 9 games in a row, it'll start matching you into people in a lower MMR range. So then your players get easier. Just like if you're in a lower MMR range and you have a crazy win streak, they're going to start saying, why don't we give D-Money Gabby? See if he can beat Gabby now or something. You know, like even though he's at like rank 100 because he's won 9 in a row, they're like, here's rank 1.
Okay.
Let's see if you got this.
All right. So I just found the video. Ben Brode made a presentation at PAX Dev 2018 keynote. And basically, he goes over strategy games, and he talks about how in strategy games, we want all players to have fun. So if you have a player with like a 90% win rate, right, and you decrease that by like, let's say 10%, they're still going to play the game exactly the same amount. But if you have a person with a 10% win rate, they're going to play the game significantly less. But if you can get that person with 10% and get them to 20 and take away from the person with 90, then the player who only has 10 that goes to 20 is going to play more, and the player that went from 90 to 80 is going to play the same. So why would you not do that? And that he goes into like matchmaking and like ranking players, and he starts bringing up graphs. I'm going to link the video here if I can.
Go for it. Yeah.
After watching this video, I mean, I watched the whole thing. It's a long video, guys. It's about 38 minutes long, but watching this video will literally change how you think about Hearthstone 100%. You don't watch this video and you're like, damn, this game's fair as fuck. You watch this video and you're like, holy shit, I'm never going to get a 60% win rate ever. Maybe in the short term, but you'll always go to 50%. You will literally never, ever have a fantastic win rate in any sort of strategy card game that implements processes like this, ever. It'll always get you to the mean.
Yeah, I've actually seen that video, and yeah,
it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it for sure. It does make sense.
It's to get you to keep playing.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of a video game is for you to want to play and to keep playing as long as possible.
Because retention is key to making money.
Yes. So why would they not implement systems that you have certain players not playing as long as they should if you just take away from another player base who's going to play the same amount regardless if they have a 90% win rate or a 70% win rate or a 65? And you got to figure out which percent win rate can we get players to go down to before they start not having a good time and play less. So you run another
think about
algorithm
it from a
and see.
perspective. How much more likely would you be to invest in Activision, knowing that they have systems like this in place to keep game retention up to increase revenues for the games? You would be like, okay, that's a way better company. They're doing it right. They're integrating systems to make their games more profitable and addicting to the players. That's intelligent.
Yeah. So while this is all true, nonetheless, the top players still remain at the top, so it's not completely rigged, guys. Like, it's not like just because Gabby is rank 1 every single like for 2 months, they're gonna make him like go down to rank 3,000. You know, he's still at the top. You know, the top people are still very consistently at the top, and yeah, but hey, that means that if you're really bad, guys, if you're having a really bad streak right now, you're due. All right, you're gonna hit just like the slot machines later. All right?
Well, there's a difference, right? Because there's ranked ladder, which is this system gets implemented, and then there's like when you play in tournaments, they don't play in ranked ladder. They play versus, like they queue into, like they play, you know what I mean? They battle each other, which these elements would not occur. Right. You know what I mean? You're changing the parameters of which the game is being played. You're not going against some random person online. You're playing against what would be a friend, you know, a friendly duel, which is what they do in tournaments, right? You add them as a friend, then you battle each other, which these parameters of like percentages and win rates don't occur, right? Because it's not a ladder format. It's not a ranked. So just keep that in mind. Just watch it with an open mind.
Yeah, definitely some interesting some stuff in there that you're gonna wanna check out. I mean, like Warshack said, it is a long video. I also it was so long that I like skipped around a few parts, but
you monster, this is so important. It was so juicy. There's so much great information in this video from Ben Brode.
It is a good video to check out, though. And that's probably that same thing that he's talking about. That's true probably for a lot of games. So don't just say like, oh, yes, Hearthstone's the only
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone's the only rigged fair game. Yeah, definitely all games are gonna like do something like this just to keep you playing. It's all part of the thing. Yeah. I think that is where we can end off.
Cool. It's a wrap. Hey guys, thanks for being here today. Thank you for having me, D-Money. It was a pleasure being on your stream again, as always.
Draco always
me as well.
Draco always makes it sound like he just wants to get out of here, man. He's like, oh wait, we're done. Oh, okay, bye guys. Yeah, that's it. All right, I'm out.
Peace.
See ya.
Howdy.
No, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for having me. Honestly.
Thanks for having me, man. All right, have a good rest of your streaming day. Have fun in Hearthstone, win some games, get some money in slots.
Yep.
See you later, chat. Enjoy some D-Money. Draco, have a good weekend. And later, Gator guys.
Yeah, it was a really good episode today. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Peace out, guys.
Same.
Stay beautiful.
Later.